Hello?
Oh,
Hello. Yes. Hi. Nice to meet you.
you too, man.
So, have you watched any of the parts of the stream where I explained DLT in detail, or do you want me to explain DLT to you real quick?
Let me explain it to you. Are we talking about just blockchain, or are we moving into smart contracts in Ethereum?
Well, smart contracts in Ethereum still use DLT. It's not really that different in a technological sense, other than the fact that they use it for more things. It's still the same base technology. Yeah. It's still the same base technology.
It's a ledger, yeah. But you can't store NFTs on a proof of work blockchain.
I know you can't, but that's not what I was talking about. We were I literally said proof of work because proof of work because that's the majority of crypto right now. The majority of stable cryptos are
we're not talking about the majority of crypto. We're not. Your video is NFTs. Your video is literally why are NFTs useless, and you're talking about proof of work.
And yeah, but NFTs is a completely separate topic to what we were talking about right there, right? Like, you understand that in that part of the conversation, we weren't talking about NFTs anymore. You were talking about cryptocurrency. You brought up cryptocurrency. Cryptocurrency was the sole topic of conversation in that comment thread. And then you go back to NFTs. NFTs have no value because they're shitty artwork hosted on a website with a fucking hyperlink to the NFT stored on the blockchain.
So actually, NFTs are non-fungible tokens. The artwork is simply a digital file that is associated to the hash mark.
I'm well aware. I explained that in the video itself.
That beyond artwork, there are videos, there are signatures, there are contracts, there are because artwork, things that can be an NFT.
Because videos aren't a form of art. Because movies aren't a form of art.
They're everything, my friend. The deed to your house one day is going to be an NFT, and you're sitting here talking about artwork.
That's not true. It's never going to happen.
Look at I'm waiting to take the L because everything you're saying really just seems like you don't know anything because you're talking about artwork. Well, you're looking at Bored Apes like they're artwork, my guy. Like, what happens
when... What are Bored Apes if they're not artwork? Like, what are they meant to be? What do they represent? What's the value of a Bored Ape? Why do the Bored Apes have value? What about them gives them value?
Oh, where to begin? Let's see. Look at who owns Bored Apes. Look at the network of people that owns Bored Apes. Imagine you got in on the Bored Apes, and now all of these insanely connected individuals own the Bored Apes. And everybody that owns Bored Apes...
These are insanely connected individuals. Okay, so name one.
I mean, my guy Post Malone owns two. So if you're into music and you own Bored Ape, you have
so if you own a Bored Ape, so if you own a Bored Ape, you can talk to Post Malone. Like, Post Malone and you are homies. You're chilling, right?
I'd appreciate it if you wouldn't interrupt me because, I mean, it'd be great if I get my point across. You know, you seem scared right now.
No, I'm not scared at all. I'm just asking. You said it has value because it gets you into this network of people. Do you own a Bored Ape? Are you and Post Malone homies?
Oh, no, not me.
Okay.
I'd love to, but no. I mean, I'd totally spend that money if I had it back in the day. But nope, I did not get in on it like that. Absolutely not.
Okay, but people who own Bored Apes, they're all homies with Post Malone.
They have invitations to Bored Ape exclusive networking events, parties.
Right, and Post Malone takes part in all of those events. Like the actual like rich, famous, like powerful people who have decided to get in on this because it's a fun bubble and they've got way too much disposable income. They take part in this. They actually go to these parties.
The questions you're asking are all based around conjecture. So it doesn't matter if he's going or if he's not going.
Your argument for their value, is based on conjecture. Your argument for their value is that it gets you into this in club, the Bored Ape Club, which lets you know all these people and network these people. No, but you say it's a fact. Give me an example. Show me somebody who bought a Bored Ape and as a result got involved in a network like that and had a tangible benefit from it. Come on, they'd have been bragging about it all over the internet.
Give me a minute. Well, 700 apes wrapped up. Yep. Here we go. Right there. Just slam this into your Discord, my guy.
Yep, please do.
There's that one. Nice little gathering of
the Bored Ape Yacht Club kicked off its first annual Ape Fest with a bang. The fest began yesterday, October 31st in New York City, and saw Bored Ape holders from across the world pouring in. The first event of the base, so this is an event. Who saw tangible gains from this? Like, who saw like networking opportunities, business opportunities?
Let me go and ask everybody that went there to write a blog just for you, my guy.
Like, if somebody had gotten... No. You don't understand. The people holding Bored Apes want them to gain value, yes or no?
They gain value by the people that own them.
Okay. The people that own them want them to gain value, though, because they can sell them, right? They are an asset. So
No,
do they
it's
want them to
not-
gain value? Yes or no?
Not necessarily about selling them, though. You're not getting
It
this.
is, though, because they get sold all the time. That's like literally they do get bought and sold. So
Yes.
they're an
The
asset. Yes or
value
no?
is inherent. The value is inherent in the roadmap and the community of the NFT.
Okay,
If the
okay.
N-
So
So
show me that
what- so
value.
let me-
I'm
let
asking
me
you to
go
show me the
ahead and say
value.
this.
I'm
Let me
asking
go
you to
ahead
show me the value. I'm asking you to show me the value. You're making a claim. Back it up. Show me the value, because
What would you
people who
what would
own
you
the
consider
apes,
proof of value?
people-
Let me
because
go and find
people
some
who own the
obscure
apes-
Bored Ape
people-
log of this person that
people
says they got
who
a
own
picture.
the apes.
Like, I'm going to go and research every Bored Ape for you. No, you
What,
go.
they
and
got a
look.
picture with Post
Shit.
Malone. I
You're
could get a
sitting
picture
here
with Post Malone. I could get a picture with Post Malone. I work with the Pokemon company. He works with the Pokemon company. I've gotten pictures with loads of famous people because of my networking, right? And I don't own a Bored
that's
Ape.
Wonderful.
So
I'm
my
not
point
saying-
is,
You don't have
no,
to.
Whoa.
The
Let me,
NFTs are the
you
only way
made
to
the
gain
claim,
access.
so you have to back it up. You can't make a claim, and then when I'm like, back it up, you're like, no, I don't have to. No. There's no way for me to back it up. Well, then the claim is moot. It doesn't matter. It's not worth discussing, right? Because you made a claim, but it's not backed up whatsoever. Like, you have no evidence to support your claim. I could
First
say
of all,
that
it's a
penguinos
simple-
make your dick grow 12 inches. But that doesn't mean if you buy a penguino, your dick's going to grow 12 inches. Like, you can laugh awkwardly all you want, my dude. That's absolutely
It's
fine. But it
hilarious,
doesn't mean
bro.
you're making your point. It doesn't
It
mean you're
absolutely
making the
does.
point you think you do.
My guy, there wouldn't be any value in owning any country club memberships or a tangible thing where you go. There wouldn't be value in any sort of membership with what you're talking about. Why would anybody want to join any sort of club at all if there's
So
no value
why
in
does it
joining
need to be
that
an
club?
NFT? Why does it need to be an NFT? Why don't they
Because
not
the
just set up a
NFT
website where you can
NFT
buy
is
access
in
to
your
a club?
wallet, because the NFT lives in your wallet,
Yeah.
and that NFT is associated with your
Why-
private key, and you use that private key as a signature
Okay,
to get into
all
this
right.
place as proof
And
that you
why
own
is
the
that
NFT.
any
So
different
you can't
from signing
walk,
up
so
for a
any
club?
scrub
Why
like
is that
you
any better?
can't
Why is that
walk
any better than
with
signing
a
up for a
screenshot
private
acting
club?
like they own an NFT and can get in, because these clubs
Why is that
are on
any
Web3.
better
Their
than
clubs
signing
are
up for a
on
club?
the blockchain.
Okay,
Because it's
why is
not on
that?
the blockchain, because it's not part of an immutable ledger.
Okay.
You fucking idiot! Like, aren't you?
Okay,
aren't
so
you
if you
getting
sign
this?
up for a club, and they take your biometric data, and then you need to use that biometric data to attend an event,
This
is
is
that
again
not just as
that's a red
secure?
herring. This is a red herring. That's just something you're trying to mislead people with. It has nothing to do with what we're talking about. I'm
It
not
has
giving
everything
away
to do.
my
It's the
blood
same.
and
It's the
skin
same
to
benefit,
get
but without
into
it being an
a club.
NFT. It's the same
It's
benefit,
not-
but without it being an NFT.
So you're telling me you would rather go and donate blood to get into a club than own an NFT in a
Yes,
secure
because
wallet?
the only biometric data is a blood test. There's no such thing as an iris scan or a fingerprint. No, you're right.
Sure.
How
Sure,
could
yeah,
I
you
be
want that
so
club to have
dumb
your
to think the
fingerprint. Yep,
only?
yep. Let's
Yeah.
totally give all the clubs their fingerprint data and all of this data. Yeah, that's an even better idea. Man, you're a fucking genius, aren't you? Jesus
So,
Christ.
So giving them your fingerprint data, what does that do? How does that harm
What?
you?
Why? It's not on the blockchain. It's not immutable. There's no fucking proof that can never be edited because you don't have more computational power than the world.
You couldn't store fingerprint and biometric data on the blockchain? Is that what you're saying?
There's
You're
no
not
way to
capable
do
of
it yet. The medical that shit's not. None of that's on the blockchain. This is on the blockchain right now. Maybe one day, yeah. You have a great idea. Actually,
are you joking?
I am.
You could do
I'm
it
gonna
right
go ahead
now.
and-
You could mint an
Go do
NFT
it.
of someone's fingerprint right now.
Bro.
I could mint an NFT of my fingerprint right now and put it in my wallet. Could I not?
You don't know what you're talking about. Mint an
Could I
NFT
not?
of fingerprint. You think the picture of the fingerprint is the NFT?
No, I don't. I literally mentioned that in my video. See, this is why I know you're just a bad actor, right? Making straw man arguments. Because if you'd watched my video, I literally talk about the fact
I'm not
that it is
watching
just
your video.
a link.
The
It's
first part
just
of
a
your
link.
video.
It's just
is
a
the
link to an
securities
image.
for watching,
What happens?
and then
What happens if the website hosting the Bored Ape images goes down? What happens?
Nothing, because the Bored Ape is in your fucking wallet. The Bored Ape is the hash mark that lives in your
A
wallet.
hash mark lives in your wallet, right? But it's not
Uh-huh.
linked. It's
the picture,
not
bro. The picture is
intrinsically-
marketing. The picture is nothing but marketing material. Literally,
Okay.
nothing but marketing material.
And what happens
associated
if
with the people that
nobody
own the
famous ever
NFT?
goes to any of these Bored Ape?
And the
By the
NFTs
way, I've
worthless.
looked at this Bored Ape meeting. Nobody big went.
Then the
Not
NFTs
one
worthless.
big important person went.
I'm
to
not
your-
telling
to
you
your
that
first
every.
ever Bored Ape meeting.
I never claimed that every NFT is worth something. Not every NFT is worth
You
anything.
just
like
talked
not
about Bored
every
Apes being worth
membership
something,
is-
but there's no evidence of that. There's no evidence of them being worth something, despite the
sold
fact
for
that
millions because
Yes.
these people want to be in it.
Yeah,
like
shit,
you're
like,
you're
because they
telling
have
me that
no
something
intrinsic-
that is
because they have no
surpassing
intrinsic value.
industries that have existed for
Do you
decades
not-
has no value in the span of a week, and you're sitting here saying it has no value because you don't want it to have value.
I said it has
Like,
no
are you
intrinsic value.
joking me?
I said it
There's
has no
value
intrinsic
to
value.
You. There's
It
no
has
value
assumed
to
value.
you.
It has
You don't.
it has assumed value based on a
value
bubble.
is assumed. The value of gold is assumed because
No,
of
the
its
value of gold-
scarcity. Are you joking me?
The value of gold is assumed because of scarcity, but also because gold is a highly useful mineral. It's a highly useful resource. You do not have a single piece of technology in your house that doesn't control. An immutable ledger which stores images of a fucking monkey is not a useful resource.
All right, man.
It's not a useful resource. It does not have. It does not have.
I'm not here to change your mind.
Do you know what intrinsic value means? Do you know what the term intrinsic value means?
Man, I'm just gonna let you explain it to me. Go ahead.
So you don't know what it means. I just want to clarify. You don't know what it means. Well, then tell me what it means. Explain intrinsic value to me.
Bro, this is a loaded question.
In front of hundreds of people, explain intrinsic value to me.
This is a loaded question.
Yeah, you totally know what it means, right? You totally know what it means, but when I ask you to explain it to me, you're like, no, you tell me.
My guy, you know what? Let me just go ahead and type it in because I'm not getting caught in some fucking
Google it.
trap.
Google it. Go on. Google intrinsic value.
It's yep. A measure of what an asset is worth.
Yes. Okay. So intrinsic value is the value of something in a vacuum. It's value in a vacuum. Inherent means it's in a vacuum, as in without other people deciding what it's worth, not like a currency. Currency doesn't have an intrinsic value unless it's backed by gold. And most currencies
has
aren't backed by
no
gold.
value. The currency's not backed by gold, dipshit. Our currency's backed by oil.
What's
Our currency's backed by
and oil?
words.
And does oil have intrinsic value? Does oil have intrinsic value?
It's falling right now as we speak.
Right, yes, the price of oil is falling, but the price is not what we're talking about. We're talking about the intrinsic value of oil.
Not the price. The value of oil is falling. Like electric cars are taking over. We're not using oil. We're moving to solar. We're moving to wind, renewables.
Yes.
So yeah, that value is falling, and that value is
the American is the American dollar backed by oil, or is the American dollar backed by the American economy? You absolute fucking doofus. You are an absolute doofus.
How is the currency? How is a fiat currency backed by the actual economy? The economy is bigger than ever, and yet our money is worth almost nothing. 40% of our currency was recently printed in the last year. What the fuck are you talking about? There's no economy backing up this fucking currency here.
Why is the dollar accepted? Why is the dollar accepted in every store in America?
Why is the dollar?
Why can you buy things with the dollar?
Why has the dollar fallen in so much value over the last century?
Oh my God, the relative value of currencies against each other does not change whether or not they are backed by the economy of the country that prints them. How do you not get this? Is like Econ 101. This is high school shit. This is like high school shit. How do you not understand high school level economics when you are trying to argue with me about the intrinsic value of NFTs? Like, I'm stun-locked right now by how dumb you are. Do you not understand that the dollar is backed by the American economy? Like, do you not understand that the dollar is backed by the American government? No, it's not. It's not a red herring, because this is the difference between cryptocurrency and NFTs and all of this.
This is a red herring. This has absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about. The fact that the dollar is backed by the American government literally has nothing to do with what we're talking about.
It's literally the thing that makes it an actual currency. It's literally the thing that makes it an actual stable currency.
Then why is one fucking Bitcoin worth 55,000 of those dollars without
Oh my God, again, you're talking about relative values again. Dude, when you're talking about what backs a currency and whether a currency has intrinsic value and backing, the relative value is
many relative and inherent and intrinsic values all you want, my guy. Value is value, and value is decided by the people that assign that value in this case. Period.
Which is worth
it's
more.
A new,
which is worth more. Let me ask you a question.
Stone.
Let me ask you a question. Which is worth more? Okay, the American dollar as a currency or Bitcoin as a currency?
Bitcoin. In the future. Yeah, Bitcoin is going to be worth far more than the dollar. Yeah, 100%.
Oh my God! He said it! He said the thing even the dumbest crypto bros never say. Even the dumbest crypto bros that I have debated, the dumbest people that I've debated with on this subject, because I have talked to so many people on this subject, even the dumbest of you, even the fucking chudliest chuds of you would never in a million years say that the Bitcoin as a currency has more value than the American dollar as a currency. The American dollar is the most valuable currency in the world as a currency. You realize that, right? It's backed by the most powerful economy and the most powerful military in the world, which makes it the most valuable currency in the world. That's why it's used as the overall measuring post for every other currency on the planet. Holy
Are you kidding
shit.
me? Are you kidding me? Are you joking me? So
it used to be the Great British pounds because we were the banking capital of the world, but we're not anymore. Are you kidding me?
So it's the dollars that hold the value, but bro, this is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my life.
What is a dollar? What is a dollar? Tell me what a dollar is.
Bro, yes, the dollar. Yeah, you're getting.
Tell me what a dollar is.
The dollar is. We're getting there. We're getting there. We're talking about trust. We're talking about trust. Talking about trust.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
You're saying stupid roundabout shit, so it's hard for me to grasp what you're saying. We're talking about trust.
What? No. What's a dollar? Tell me what a dollar is. Tell me what a dollar actually represents.
Homie, do you understand what a loaded question is? All right.
I'm just.
Let me give you the definition of a loaded question. Because you can't just sit here and ask a question that you already have the answer to, trying to trip me up. That's what you're doing. You're asking.
No. I'm using. It's called the Socratic method. Instead of giving you statements, the Socratic method. Instead of giving you statements, I'm asking you questions so that you expose the flaws in your own argument rather than me exposing them for you. It's a much better way to debate with people because it forces them to confront the reality. Otherwise, you can just dodge the reality constantly, which is what you've been doing in the YouTube comments and in this debate, right?
So I'm using the value.
What is the value of a dollar? Why is a dollar valuable? What is a dollar? What does a dollar represent? What does a dollar represent?
I'm just going to let you tell me, my guy.
A tiny, teeny portion of the American economy. That's what a dollar represents. Okay? Because it is secured by the American government. It is secured by the most powerful government in the world, right? With the strongest economy in the world right now. China's probably going to overtake in the next few years, but right now, the strongest economy in the world. And as a result, right, you know that if you go into a shop and spend $1, you can spend that dollar. Always, because it is secured by the government. Everybody trusts the dollar. They have to. You literally are forced to, as a business, accept the American dollar if you are in America. It is a requirement, right?
This is okay. This means nothing. This is like talking about fucking.
Why does it mean nothing? Trust in a currency means everything.
Because
what happens when people stop trusting Bitcoin? What happened every single time the bubble has popped? What has happened every single time crypto has crashed? Why did it crash?
It hasn't crashed.
Why did it crash?
Gone up. There have been dips that haven't crashed.
When they've had their big dips, and there have been big dips, why have those dips occurred?
If you look at a graph, my man, it's gone up. It's only going up. You're talking about dips and crashes. They're not crashes. There's never been.
They are crashes.
$55,000. It's not never.
That's
dropped
like saying the stock market.
Nothing.
That's like saying the stock market has never crashed. Because it's never been reduced to zero.
You're making arguments based on a financial system that has admittedly been in place for centuries and attempting to project this onto an entirely new technology that is in its infancy.
And stocks. What is the difference between cryptocurrency and stocks? Other than the blockchain. You could put stocks on the blockchain too. So what's the difference?
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you a question. Why is this value that people are putting into these things? Why is large, massive groups of people saying this is worth this much because I'm saying it's worth this much any different than being backed up by resources that are both dwindling and becoming obsolete in the grand scheme of the world? Why is this implied value on a completely immutable ledger?
You realize that when oil gets phased out, the number one energy provider in the US is still going to be the US.
You're not answering the question. You're just taking a different answer. Why is this implied value of the trust, a mathematically guaranteed trust of a distributed ledger? Why is that value that has been...
Again, with the mathematically guaranteed trust, that's not trust in the value of something. That's just trust in the fact that all the transactions are logged. That's it. That's all you can trust, is that every transaction is logged. That's all you can trust 100% mathematically with cryptocurrency.
Putting money into stocks is assuming upon a group of people that this fucking project is going to be awesome. They put money into the project, and then the project that does well or does not well gains or loses you money.
Okay, but what's the difference between
stocks? That's what investment is about.
What's the difference between a stock and a crypto coin?
A stock has a company assigned to it.
Yeah, right.
A stock has an entity.
Has something backing
it.
The
network
backing it.
of Bitcoin is backing Bitcoin. The ledger is backing Bitcoin. The fact that it is
all the
not,
ledger does,
you can't
all the ledger
print
does
more
is track.
Bitcoin. There's a finite amount of Bitcoin, and you can't go print 40% more within the span of a year and have inflation hit. Inflation is impossible with crypto because there's a limited amount of Bitcoin. You can't print more.
Happens if
Once
people
it's
lose
done,
faith?
it's done.
What happens when people lose faith in cryptocurrency?
The only way people will lose faith is if we get fucked by a solar storm and everything is wiped, in which case everybody else is fucked too. Period.
But I'm asking the question, what happens if people lose faith? Because they might. People might decide that it's no longer the exciting thing.
Then over a decade and there's no faith. It's
how many crypto coins have crashed and burned to nothing because people stopped trusting them, because people lost faith in them, because people didn't believe they would gain value?
Fucking plenty. How many countries have risen and fallen in the history for the fucking world?
No, but
you're asking these questions that mean
those countries
nothing.
rise and fall based on like actual physical things happening, right? Like people dying or people taking over or a coup. Do you think that if there was a coup in America, right, that cryptocurrency would keep its value? If every rich person in America was executed because the Eat the Rich movement got that big and they went on this fucking rampage and they started a new socialist America, do you think that cryptocurrency would hold its value? China outlawed cryptocurrency.
That is actually an interesting question because, if we lost all the wallets that held to the Bitcoin, this is interesting. This is actually, we're good somewhere. Because, it's an interesting thought to think that, hey, if the wallets did go away, like, because obviously if you lose your private key, you lose your phrase, you can't get back in. So that is actually a really interesting thought that, oh, hey, if the wallets were wiped, I mean, but then in that
case,
it's
not even about the wallets being wiped. It's not even about. It's not even only about the wallets being wiped, right? What if the USA outlaws Bitcoin and the two biggest countries in the world?
That's not going to happen.
No, but it could, and they are talking about tracking it completely, right? They're talking about making it so it's no longer got its biggest benefit, because the biggest benefit of cryptocurrency is it's decentralized. America is talking about tracking and taxing Bitcoin, having to register wallets to IDs, right? They're talking about that, and they're talking about it a lot. So if you don't follow politics, I mean, I'm a political streamer, so I follow a lot of politics, right? If you don't follow politics, you don't follow legislation. It's one of the only things that has backing from both parties. It's one of the only non-partisan things in American politics right now is the talk that Bitcoin and NFTs and all of the blockchain technology needs to be heavily regulated. The IRS is going to heavily regulate blockchain technology over the next 5 years. Right?
We're also talking about Bitcoin by itself, though. We're only talking about BTC right now. It's the first iteration. It's the first one.
They're talking about doing it to blockchain technology in general, as in any blockchain trades that have monetary value. So any trades to or from
we're going to tax currency. It with fiat. Yeah. It's great. Yeah. It doesn't matter in the long run.
No, it does matter. If you don't think that matters, again, you fundamentally misunderstand how money works. Like, if you're talking about cryptocurrency, if you believe cryptocurrency is a currency, right, is money, then you're saying, well, what's the primary benefit of cryptocurrency over other things? It's decentralized. It's not run by a government. That's the primary benefit. What happens when the government says, no, either you conform to us or we ban it? What happens then? You lose the only thing that makes it more valuable.
What do you mean? You're acting like people aren't already sending fiat currency off into other bank accounts around the world. Like, what the fuck do you mean?
They are, yeah, of course. And that's illegal. You realize that that's illegal. It's like, of course, there are legal loopholes and tax loopholes that the rich abuse all the time. I'm a progressive socialist. I'm kind of against that shit, right? Like, I'm a progressive socialist. So I'm against that shit. I think that shit is bad too. And the economic impact of that shit is massive. The richest economy in the world has 40% of its population living below the poverty line.
Well, let's ask the opposite of your questions then. What if it doesn't? What if everything you're saying doesn't? What's the opposite?
Well, I mean, it is happening. It is happening. It is literally happening right now. Do you understand how rare it is?
Yes,
do you understand how rare it is?
They're already taxing cryptocurrency. They're taxing every transaction you make.
So do you know what happens? Do you know what happens if they start implementing more and more laws that regulate it more and more, so it gets to the point of being as regulated as any other currency and any other currency trade? It just becomes another
fundamentally different because you cannot print more. You can't make more Bitcoin. You can go and print as many dollars as you want.
So you've just said that Bitcoin isn't the only thing we're discussing. We're talking about lots of cryptocurrencies, and they can just make more different cryptocurrencies.
Yeah, but then they're fucking worth different amounts, and they're
you realize, like, I'm mutuals with some of the. I'm mutuals with like massive names in the crypto space. It's not like I'm not friends with these people who are
That's
who
awesome.
are cutting
Wonderful.
edge on wallet technology, people who are writing like
You'd think you would understand this a little bit better then.
No, I understand it very well. That's
You're
my
talking
point.
of
I
you're
understand the
comparing
technology
crypto to
incredibly well.
you're comparing crypto to the dollar right now. Like they're even remotely comparable. Besides, they have
You
value
realize that
you can spend on other things.
every high-end person who wants crypto to act as a currency and not as an investment, like not as just a stock without security, wants it to be compared to things like the dollar and the pound. They want it to be a secure currency that people accept.
We're talking about something completely different. We're talking about the people that want certain things out of this, as opposed to what the actual.
But it is
what
similar.
It's actually doing.
It is similar. It's just not backed by an economy. It's like fiat currency, except not backed by an economy. It's backed by a technology, and a technology that once it is regulated loses the thing that makes it unique. Like, because you realize tracking every transaction on the blockchain could be used for the dollar as well. They could make the dollar tracked on the blockchain.
There's the US dollar coin already.
Yeah, like they could do that so easily, right? Like
no,
that's not a problem. It's just a different way of tracking transactions.
No,
what
they
do you mean
can't
not
actually
really
do that.
Why not?
Oh my god, dude.
Why not?
What do you mean? Why not?
You realize there are currencies. You realize there are
dollars are destroyed every single day. How are you going to?
So
how are you going to assign a physical, tangible object that already exists to a hash mark?
So
and trust that everybody is going to bring every dollar forward to use.
The American government says we are now selling USD Coin for $1. It will always cost $1, and there is an infinite number of it because we mint it freely. It doesn't have to be mined. You realize not all crypto has to be mined. BAT is a great example. I have made tens of thousands off of BAT.
I completely understand that not every crypto needs to be mined, but I'm saying it
so
still would
what
serve
stopped?
the same
Why couldn't the US
more? Just because you put it on the blockchain doesn't mean that they're not just going to print more and make more coins. You can't create more.
The only thing you have going for you is the fact you can't print more of it. But let me ask you a question. You can't print more of the fucking coins I have here, right? This little laser coin, because I'm the only person with the file for it, and I'm never making any more of them. Why does that mean that it has value? Why does it suddenly have value because there's no more of them? Like, there's no more of them, okay. Why does that mean it has value? Explain why not being able to make more on its own with nothing else backing it gives it value. Explain that to me, because I'm clearly missing that part of the puzzle. That's the bit I'm missing. How does the inability to print more on its own give it value?
Because there's no inflation.
There's no inflation of these. There's no inflation of these plastic chips. Are you gonna get? There's no inflation of these plastic chips. Are you gonna give me $45,000 for it?
Dude, holy shit, my god. I'm sure you sound really convincing to the people watching your stream right now, but what you're asking is borderline moronic. Like,
there we go. Thank you very much for the sub. No, I'm just asking the question. How does something being
print more of my pen on my desk?
How does something not being inflation proof, not being able to be inflated, mean it has value when it has nothing else? If it has nothing else behind it, there is nothing backing Bitcoin. Can we agree on that? Other than blockchain technology, which anybody can do for anything, and the US government could ban it, and they could ban crypto outright. And
well, they could.
China have.
They're not going to. And if they do, then we're back at square one. But right now,
but that's my point.
That's is given to it by the people that are.
It's not inherent value. It's not inherent value. It's agreed value. It's not inherent value. Inherent value requires something to be backing it.
Fair enough.
No, it's not semantics. It's a really important point economically. This is why economists have been talking about this for years. This is why people far more educated than yourself have been debating this subject for literally years. Since 2001, before Bitcoin even existed, this has been debated. You understand that, right? Back when you were a fucking sperm in your dad's nutsack, this was being debated.
Okay.
You Zoomer crypto bro chud. You don't know what you're talking about. You don't know what you're talking about.
My guy, you're still like on the NFTs or artwork train. Like, your opinion means less than nothing to me.
Why do NFTs have value inherently? Why do they intrinsically have value? You still can't explain that to me.
You're acting like people aren't already paying for digital files on the internet.
Oh
Like
my
people
God.
aren't
People
already
are
paying for
tens
content.
of thousands. People are paying tens of thousands for collectible statuettes from the 90s. That does not mean that they are always going to be worth that. You realize that, right?
Nobody said that they were always going to be worth that. When did we ever say that?
Pay
You're putting words into my mouth.
People pay millions for Jackson Pollock paintings. Millions. It's a dot on a canvas. That doesn't mean it's worth that, right? Like one of the biggest drivers.
You're talking about art right now.
Do you know what the biggest driver of NFT value is? Do you know what the number one driver of NFT value? And this is why it's being investigated so heavily.
I get where you're coming from, because you're still on this like fucking the value
money
of art
laundering.
is subjective type of shit.
Money laundering is the number one thing moving the value of NFTs. Why do you think there are NFTs that were bought for hundreds of thousands that now can't sell for a few hundred? Why do you think there are NFTs being listed for a fraction of a percent of what they were originally sold for that are not selling? Why does that happen?
You're technically not wrong. People are absolutely money, but that doesn't apply to every NFT. That is not a generalized statement.
No.
You can't just put that out there as some blanket statement.
But your statement was they're selling for hundreds of thousands, therefore they have value. Well, what I'm telling you is the reason they're selling for hundreds of thousands is because people think
that they are part of a group of 10,000 people.
Why do people buy NFTs? Why do you go and buy an NFT? Do you own an NFT? Do you own any NFTs?
Dude,
do you own any NFTs?
The deed to your house is going to be an NFT one day.
No, the deed to my house is going to be registered with the government for the rest of time. I mean, no. Why would an NFT that says I own this house, why would an NFT that says I own this house have any legal standing?
That NFT would be tied to the value of your house, just like these NFTs are tied to the value of the club they represent.
But why would it have any legal standing? Unless the government backs up the NFT. Who owns all the land in a country?
It's talking about legal standing. This is decentralized currency. I don't give a fuck about legalization right now.
What? Who owns the land that I own my house right now, right? I have a mortgage, I've got the deed, I've got everything, right?
Okay, so this was about NFTs.
Guarantees
right?
Who guarantees that my house belongs to me? Who guarantees that my house belongs to me? Who guarantees that my house belongs to me? If somebody comes into my house, throws me out on the street, starts living in my house, how do I get back into my house? How do I prove that it's mine? Who does that for me?
Have the NFT that represents the deed to your house.
Okay.
It's on the blockchain. It's immutable. It's right there in your wallet.
Who enforces it, though? Because if it's not enforced, I could go, I've got the NFT to this house, and they'll go, okay, fuck off.
How do you prove it now? How do
I prove it now? I have a deed to the house.
Where's your deed?
The house is registered. The house is registered in my name with who? The house is registered
in your wallet to you through an NFT. The house is
registered in my name with the fucking government, you chud. If the government doesn't adopt NFTs for house ownership, then what would NFTs have to do with house ownership? The government would have to agree to do that.
That's the thing.
What do you think the odds of that are? What do you think the odds of the government? What do you think the odds of? No, you shut up, because I'm asking you a question. You're not answering it. What do you think the odds are? Okay,
you're projecting.
So why would an NFT ever denote home ownership?
You're projecting.
Why would the deed to my house ever be home ownership?
That have been in place for centuries. You're comparing constructs that have been in place for centuries to a fucking technology in its infancy.
Okay,
and you simply lack the vision to look ahead.
You said the deed to my house would be an NFT. Who's going to enforce that? Who's going to enforce that NFT? What happens if my wallet gets hacked and that NFT that's the deed to my house gets stolen? Is my house now that person who stole it? Does it belong to that person now?
Oh my God.
No, answer the question. That's a simple question. What happens if the NFT that is the deed to your house gets stolen by someone else?
Right now? Well, first of all, here we go. This is a moot point, because right now it's not supported. I can't answer that question.
Well, no. What if it ever happened?
Infrastructure doesn't exist.
But I'm asking you, what level of support? What level of support would be necessary? This is the point I've been trying to make. Can you please just let me speak and make the point I've been trying to make for the last 5 minutes?
You've been interrupting me this entire time.
Okay, go ahead then. Go ahead. Say what you want to say.
No, I'm just going to keep interrupting you because it's fun.
Okay, I'm going to mute you on Discord.
What?
Right. So I can't hear him now, so I can make my point, which is great. It's awesome. My point is the only way for the deed to your house to ever become an NFT would be for the government to back it up. At which point, it would be no fucking different than it is now, because the government has records of who owns the house, and whether that's a record on an NFT on a blockchain, or whether that's a record in a county office, backed up in the fucking city, backed up by the government on their mainframe, all of that shit. That ownership is registered in the exact same fucking way as it would be with an NFT. There is no difference other than the fact that if it was an NFT, it could be easily stolen and easily sold/transferred without involving the government, losing land stamp, which is a tax, losing property tax, which is a tax, losing the government's ability to track who owns the property, which the government doesn't want to do, because the only way to enforce your ownership of the property is how? With the will of the government. Because if the government doesn't enforce your ownership of the property, somebody else can walk into your house, throw you out, and what the fuck are you going to do about it? The only way to fix that issue is to go to the police and say, hey, someone's in my house and they've thrown me out. Right? Someone came into my house with a gun, threatened me, threw me out, and they're living in my house now. I want my house back. And then the police get you your house back. Whether you've got an NFT or not that says, I own this house, the police don't give a fuck about that. The police will never give a fuck about that unless the government agrees that that's how home ownership works. So this guy's whole argument of the deed to your house will eventually be an NFT. If it is, it will be an NFT run by the government, which means it's not decentralized, and therefore it's no different than what we've got right now. So I'm going to unmute him now because I have ultimate power in this server, and he forgot that. So if I tell him to shut up, he has to. If he tells me to shut up, I don't. You good? Would you like to respond to that point, or are you done?
I mean, if you're done sucking the government's dick, I mean, I guess I could.
Okay, respond to the point then. Explain to me how I'm wrong. Explain to me how I'm wrong.
How you're talking, considering the part of the world that you're from. However, I live over here, you know, where things are a little bit different. So I have a different point of view because
it works exactly the same in the States. It works exactly the same in the States.
I live.
I don't pay a TV license.
All right, pal.
Primal. I don't pay a TV license. I don't watch TV.
I'm not talking. Oh my God, bro. Oh my God.
Do you know how TV license works? If you don't watch TV, you don't have to pay a TV license. It's just like cable in the States.
Bro, it's the concept. It's the principle of living somewhere that forces you to pay for a TV license.
But they don't force me to pay for a TV license. They give you a choice. They say pay for a TV license to get access to the BBC or don't. You realize that it's like cable. It's like Netflix. It's paying for a subscription to a channel.
It's basically, we're on different wavelengths right now because you're looking at through the lens of Big Daddy government, and I'm looking at through the
America's
lens of...
America's no different. How is property ownership enforced in America then? That's so different from how it's enforced here. It's still registered with the government and enforced by the government.
You're conflating these things. First of all, to answer the question that you just went on this little stupid-ass diatribe about, the tech isn't there. All right? I'm not positive how it's going to happen. But it's going to happen. It's not going to happen.
Let me ask you a question. Yes or no? Let me ask you yes or no. A very simple yes or no question. Could property ownership happen via NFT by any mechanism without the government's approval?
We're going to find that out in the very near future. I'm not sure. That's the short answer. I don't know.
Give me any theoretical way that it could work. Like just spitball a way that the ownership could be enforced without the involvement of police and government.
You're doing this right. You're making money off of this. You got your stream. You're doing great, and I respect the shit out of that. But we got off so far off course, right? We went over the value. We went over the value of NFTs.
You're the one who brought up the value of NFTs. When I said, "Tell me the value of the NFTs," you said the deed of your house will be an NFT. That was your response to what gives NFTs value.
Oh my!
I'm just exploring that concept.
My immediate response, well, using the Bored Apes as an example, was that the value of the NFTs come from the exclusivity of the club that you're in. Period.
Okay, but that's existed for centuries. I'm a member of the East India Trading Company. That has far more value than membership of the Bored Ape Club. I bet you anything. Yeah,
that's wonderful. Pen and paper, burnable. You could get rid of it. This is on a global network. And as the NFTs exist on a global network of nodes.
Wait. The East India Trading Company isn't a global network?
Oh,
is that what you just said?
Oh my! Wow.
Is that what you just said? Wait.
Here, Duncan. It has been wonderful, but
my biometrics are stored with them. That's how my membership is confirmed.
You're comparing the blockchain to the East India Trading Company, guys. Don't listen to this guy. I'm telling you, guys.
You are comparing the blockchain. You are comparing the blockchain to this. You said the Bored Ape Club is.
If you want to get ahead
again, one second. There we go. I've muted him because he's just screaming nonsense. He was the one. I didn't compare the blockchain to the East India Trading Company. I don't think they're the same thing. He's the one who said the inherent value of NFTs is the club that you're in. Well, these clubs have existed for centuries. The Masons exist. The East India Trading Company exists. All of these in clubs. By the way, I have only ever taken advantage of my membership to the East India Trading Company twice in my life. So all these things exist, right? And they have for centuries. And yes, these clubs populated by powerful and influential people do have value. But he's arguing that NFTs provide that value, that they're the new way. That trading company still exists. Absolutely. It's just a secret. It's a secret society. It's a not so secret society like any other, right? Like the Masons, they're a not so secret society, right? His claim is that somehow these things have value because they get you into an exclusive club. This would be true if people who were rich and powerful gave a fuck. But his best example was Post Malone owns 2 Bored Apes. Why would you ever need to own 2? If membership to the club is what's positive about them and what gives them value, why would you ever need to own 2 of them? Why would 2 of them be required? It's membership to a club, right? Why do you need double membership? Do you get more perks the more you own? How does that work? The thing is that these clubs are established. They've existed for centuries. They're going to stay powerful because that's where the rich and powerful hang out. They don't hang out in the Bored Ape Yacht Club, which is provable by the fact that not a single rich or famous person went to this Bored Ape Yacht Club gathering that he linked me as his proof of its value. The first annual Ape Fest, it's a fucking PAX. It's a PAX that you have to pay hundreds of thousands to have the NFT to go to. That's it. That's all it is. It's PAX. It's E3. It's a fucking crypto bro club. And that's fine. Like, enjoy your crypto bro club, but there's no real value there. Being a member of one of these clubs is how people... No, I'm not going to unmute you. No, you're muted now. You're done. You said you were done. You screamed over me. You said you were done. If you're not done and you're going to have a conversation, I'll unmute you. But you have to agree to actually have a conversation. Otherwise, I'm going to just keep you muted. And that's fine. That's up to you. If you want to have a conversation, say it in chat on the server. I'm going to ban you now. There we go. Thank you very much for the gift sub. I appreciate it, Kat. You get to ask a question when you answer. No.
I'm going to answer.
You get to answer. You get to ask a question.
Go ahead.
When you listen to this point and you address my point, because you've dodged every point I've made in this entire debate. I can't wait to upload it to YouTube. Great content. So, listen. Let me ask you the question. How was it me that compared NFTs to the East India Trading Company when you're the person who said the value is that it gets you into a private in-club, which allows you to make networking contacts and et cetera, which is exactly what the East India Trading Company, the Masons, all of these fucking clubs are. These not-so-secret societies, they are all that, right? So you said that's what NFTs gave as value, and I explained that that already exists and has for centuries.
That is the first form of their value. That is what the Bored Apes offer. Yes, as those NFTs go.
Right. So why did you criticize me? So explain to me how you could criticize me and laugh at me for making that comparison when you're the one who made the comparison. Explain to me how that is.
I never said East India Trading Company, my friend. I never.
No. But you said it's an in club. You said it was an in club.
No,
which allows
we
you
were
to get
talking
contacts.
about a blockchain. You simply misunderstood.
Right. He interrupted me again, so we're going to mute him again. I'm going to say my point, and then he's going to answer it. And if he says anything else, we're going to mute him again because he has to be treated like a child. He's acting like a child. My point was that the East India Trading Company is an in-club that gives you contacts and advantages and networking, right? That was the value that he assigned to the Bored Ape Yacht Club or whatever the fuck it's called, right? He literally described one of those clubs, the Masons, the East India Trading Company, any of these things. He described one, said the Bored Ape Yacht Club was one of them. I said, yes, that already exists, and then gave the East India Trading Company as an example, and then he's like, how could you compare it to the East India Trading Company? Because you just described that, but with an NFT behind it. That's what you just did. You just described it, but with blockchain determining who was a member instead of biometrics. What's the difference other than the way that membership is determined? Your turn.
Short
Answer the
answer.
question, please.
Right now, you're comparing one of the most destructive trading forces in the history of the world to a social club. So I don't know how you maintain any sort of credibility after comparing the East India Trading Company to the Bored Ape Yacht Club. Like, what are you talking about? First of all,
the East India Trading Company is just a more powerful version of the same concept. It's just a much more powerful version of the same concept. Explain to me how I'm wrong. Explain to me how I'm wrong. The East India Trading Company is a much more powerful.
Not running around raping and pillaging world economies, for one. They're not going through to India and absolutely just stealing shit and taking artifacts and aren't backed by
I'm not saying any of that is good. I'm not saying any of that is good. I don't think the Bored Ape Yacht Club is good either. What I'm asking you is, what is actually the fundamental difference between the ideas, other than the fact that the Bored Ape Yacht Club is less influential, less powerful, and less of a good network to be in if you want advantages in life? What is the difference other than the fact that the Bored Ape Yacht Club is less effective?
Here's my closing statements, because you're interrupting me, but I don't get the same.
He answers that question, or he doesn't get to speak. That's how it works. He answers that question, and then he can say his closing statements. Otherwise, he doesn't get to speak on stream. That's fine. Again, he's a child, so we treat him like a child. Of course he's dodging the question because he can't answer it. He's the one who laughed like a fucking baboon when he's talking about, like, oh, how dare you compare them? But he's the one who made the comparison. He literally, did he not, right at the start of all of this, describe the Bored Ape Yacht Club as an in-club for networking and advantages, for gaining advantage, for gaining networking, for gaining contact? All right, so he described a shitty NFT-based version of the Masons, the East India Trading Company. Now, I want to make it very clear. I don't support the East India Trading Company. I've taken advantage of my membership one time. I only have membership because I was a scholar to a certain school where every scholar to that school gets lifetime membership, right? So I earned a scholarship to a school and they're like, congratulations, you've got lifetime membership to the East India Trading Company. I've taken advantage of it twice. Because they have clubhouses that you can go in and stay in if you need a room to stay and there's no hotels or whatever in the area. If they have space, you can stay there. And I ended up stranded somewhere and I decided to look it up and use it. Yeah, no, it is twice. I've done it twice because I went to a dinner once as well. Right? He's going to walk out of this like he won. Who cares? He embarrassed himself in front of hundreds of people, doesn't understand the technology that he's shilling, makes a comparison and then laughs at me for addressing the comparison. So how could you compare them after I just described a comparison? It's fine. Your morality must be insane. And look, yeah, I censored him. I muted the shit out of him because it was funny. Because he was being a child and refusing to answer anything I said, literally just bouncing all over the place because he couldn't answer a goddamn word. And that's fine, but I got tired of it, and so I muted him, because it's my stream, right? If you're just going to scream, I'm going to mute you. If you're not going to answer the question, I'm going to mute you. Apocalypse, thank you for the 3 years, but I'm not going to fuck you sideways. That's only for Beryl.